What you're about to see are two girls I pick up at a nightclub along with a wing, and basically all the way from hello to getting a phone number. This phone number actually does end in a date, which actually is the next clip if you go down one. But this is everything, again, in the initial interaction. Excuse me, sorry, I would wait for you to stop, but I'm just too lazy. But you guys are adorable.
Thank you.
Who are you? You're also tiny. I think collectively, without the heels, you might get totally 5 feet. That's rather amazing. So what you'll notice here is a couple things. Number one, this kind of open, they're moving. I have to be high energy. I have to get their attention. I'm willing to assume the burden, meaning I keep talking, kind of like, you know, almost no matter what, right? And if they talk back, great, but if they don't, I'll just keep talking. I have to get their attention. That's the primary thing. And then it's two of them, so I immediately bring my friend in, give him the accomplishment intro, my friend's amazing, et cetera, et cetera. And the great thing about 2-on-2 is now he can talk to one, I can talk to one, and we're paired off.
I live in Anytime.
Yeah, don't give me that look. I invented that look. Don't start pulling that shit out. I know what that is.
You said meat pack?
Yeah. It's fun. I like it.
So what you'll notice here, as compared to some of the like dates or some of the more sort of like casual environments, I'm stacking a lot more gaming moves back to back to back, right? So, you know, don't give me that look. I invented that look, and then stack another game move on top of it right away. That kind of stuff. It's far less normal casual conversation, far more high impact, high energy type stuff. Oh really? Well, I'm glad I could be unoriginal for you. Let me know what else I can do.
No way. That's amazing. What about your hair?
It's a good weather, you know what I mean?
So there's a part of me that kind of wants to have a crush on you, and there's a part of me that thinks I just run away right now. If you were a man in my shoes, if you're a man in my shoes,
I do like work stuff out here. What about you? You and your girl just kicking it?
Let's leave the like facts and feelings out of it for a while.
Nice.
I don't want to get attached.
Yeah, that's good. First time here? Good shit. Good shit.
Oh, totally. Is it just the two of you? Because you guys are actually a really cool combination. So already I'm disqualifying myself for the boyfriend frame. Already I'm, you know, saying things like, let's just have fun and, you know, leave the facts and feelings out of it, things like that, right? So it's already man to woman. I'm already kind of assuming she likes me. I'm already taking on a cocky frame. And now I'm finding out about the friends, right? Because I'm going to assume that she likes me. She's giving me she's not talking a lot, but her responses have been positive to what I've been saying. So now I need to find out the situation so I know how to handle it. If it turns out it's just the two of them and we have lots of time, I'll handle it one way. If it turns out they're part of a big group, they're about to be swept away, I'll handle it a different way. So I need to know what the scenario I'm working with is. Yeah, it's just you guys are like...
I feel like you guys have been like...
But then at the same time...
You guys seem like you've been good.
One eyebrow, what is this shit?
Sorry?
You guys seem like you've been good friends for a while.
Yeah.
We met in college. I'll tell you
Oh shit, okay. Your homegirl? Way back there.
So you're real professional, but then you have this...
God.
You have the most active eyebrows ever. Like, I'm just gonna put my hand here while I talk to you, so I'm just like, I don't see all this shit going on.
You like travel the world.
I know it's hard to contain yourself around a man such as myself. It's like, just keep it under wraps so we get to know each other.
We're actually just in Europe. That's super fun.
Something professional, but at the same time, like, there's definitely a price to about you. So I can't imagine
I like to
you in
live
a situation where you have to call girls all the time. So I think you calm down. So now that she's been responding well to the things that I'm saying, that sort of thing, now I'm going to get into qualifying her and finding out about her. So rather than ask a bunch of boring questions, I'm making assertions, right? So I say, there's a part of you that looks professional. There's a part of you that, like, clearly, like, I don't think you'd work well in an environment where you have to follow the rules all the time. You seem more creative than that, so I'm very curious about you, right? So rather than just saying, what do you do for a living? I say that. Because what do you do for a living is a question she's heard a million times before, and it's boring to her. What I said is interesting to her because I'm having an assessment, having an opinion of her, so she can wonder why that is. She can wonder what I mean. She can her answer to what do I do for a living, she can fit it into that opinion. And I'm also conveying my personality because I'm conveying my value system in saying that, right? So there's a much better way of asking the boring question. Try and grab a chair or two here, Kevin, stay here. Let me go see what I can wrangle out. So here's the next logistical step. Things are going well. I don't want to stand there, right? We're standing in this like, sort of like, almost like it's outdoor like hallway almost. It's where people are walking, right? And so if we stand there for a long period of time, people are walking past us, brushing past us, bumping into us. The longer we stand there, the more it feels like a cold approach. The more it feels like we're getting to know them and we don't really know them and we're hitting on them. As soon as they come sit down with us or come to the bar with us, now it's like we're all a group together. So that's the next logical logistical step, is get it over to a bar or a seat or somewhere where, something that you would do with friends, because you wouldn't just stand in the middle of a walkway with friends for an extended period of time. Oh my God. I mean, as enticing as that is, I don't know you that well yet. I was going to give you the chair for a second. You can pretend like you're like a little princess. You'd be like, now you went from 5 feet tall to 3 feet tall, but it's cool, nonetheless. As far as that's it's super funny. I feel like you guys are about to get really intimate right now. So you can't really see this, but we went over to the sitting area, and it was very hard to get chairs. And so I did like a little like Mentos-y commercial thing where by the way, I don't know how many people know what that is. It's when you do something like kind of like over the top, kind of like ballsy, like sort of like cocky, arrogant, like I don't care about social pressure, that kind of thing. So anyway, I got a chair from this group. I basically just plopped it right in the middle of the sitting area because there was no good place to do it, and I just sat down like it was my throne, right? And so I started talking to them from there, and they thought that was funny. But here now I'm giving the girls my throne. And this highlights the characteristic aliveness, right? When we talk about the attractive male characteristics, it's being alive, being fun, being able to make something cool out of nothing, the ability to like do something silly, do something spontaneous. Because this is a situation where we walked over to get a chair and we can't get a chair. And there are very few things that make you feel less VIP than you can't even sit down, right? And that's not the vibe you want a girl to feel in your presence, is she's not VIP. But when I do this thing and I grandstand and have the chair and I'm having fun with the moment and I'm drawing attention to me and other people are reacting to me, now it feels like we are VIP, like we're the coolest thing going on. It's a very important difference in the vibe. And then giving her the throne is a whole other like kind of level, a little takeaway off of it as well. Okay? So this is another little logistical move that we did. How do you guys actually know each other?
We met in college.
This goes along with my whole like intimacy. You guys can explain, and it's fine. I approve, it's fine. I love the sense of humor on this one. My question for you guys, have known each other for a while then? Yeah. Can I trust her? Because I know we'll have fun together, but I don't know if I can trust her.
Absolutely.
Absolutely? Fair enough. Fair enough. JP, can you try and wrangle up one more chair? If you can. Oh my goodness. Shelly, if we get another chair and he sits on my lap, will that be weird? It's happened.
Actually, we should go downstairs.
Can I go downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple things happening here. First one is, you can see I'm qualifying her through her friend. I'm saying, can I trust her? But I'm not asking her, I'm asking her friend. That keeps them both engaged. And right now, the big issue is because there's only one seat between four of us, it's just a weird scenario, and I have to keep the attention. I have to keep the energy high and fun and whatnot. So this is like these jokes, like, you know, they're sitting on each other's laps. Like, you know, if we grab another chair, should the two of us sit on each other's laps? Me and my wingman. Just keeping it fun, keeping it friendly, keeping it fun, keeping it interesting. But the real solution, which is what my wingman comes up with, is let's take them downstairs, right? Because this can only go on so long. Eventually, we do need to find a comfortable, good place we can actually sit down. So now we're going to take them downstairs. In your fashion, you are... You two should get together. You're like perfect little entrepreneur. What do I do? I did business. I'm like semi-retired now. Semi. I mean, like, if a good opportunity presents itself, I'm not going to say no. But I'm not actively looking. How old do you think? I only ask because everybody's had been giving me really interesting answers.
You're like, I've heard that before. I literally said that.
What's that?
I said that's what This is all judgmental.
No, I'm not. I know. Are you guys the same age?
He would be the slightly older.
Slightly older? 34.
That's a very specific guess. You're actually right. You're like perfectly right, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll be 35 in March. So I'm like 1 foot in the grave at this point. I've just decided like I'll probably die within a year at this point, so I'm just gonna have like a lot of fun in the next 6 months.
Hang it up, retire.
That's right, that's what I meant. Because like, if we got really close, then I'd like die and break your heart. So like, I don't want to do that to you.
You're actually like, you're at a good place.
Well, plus since I turned 33, I can't like get it up anymore, so I'll be
23 is like the best age.
Is it?
It is.
I hope so.
No, it is. It like for sure is. It's like universal.
Oh, I wish. It's a really bad one now. So notice what both me and my wingman are doing, because you can overhear him as well, is that we're both taking the normal get to know you questions, and instead of just answering them, how old are you, and giving a number, we're giving interpretation, giving our thoughts on the matter, giving our opinions, our assessment, that kind of stuff. What you'll notice me specifically doing is a lot of disqualifying, either of her or of myself, saying we won't get along, or saying I'm too old and I'm 1 foot in the grave, or I'm no good sexually, I'll disappoint her because I'm just gonna die and that'll like break her heart, like various things like that. It's silly, it's crazy, but it's of the nature of there's a man to woman vibe, right? I'm assuming a relationship, and if anything, I'm disqualifying more than I'm qualifying still. It's still very bantery, still very flirty.
Without you looking at me.
I know, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have such a penetrating gaze. I promise not to penetrate you anytime soon.
Oh, you won't. Don't worry about that.
I like the bicycles. I do enjoy the banter with you. I do think we should like take it slow with the other stuff because I really don't trust you at all. But I could banter with you all night. We could like banter. All the clothes have to stay on. Have to stay like on one side of the bed, on the other. That's as far as it can go.
You're trying to get me in bed already.
Huh?
So you're trying to get me in bed already?
No, not yet. I need comfort connection. You may have to like give me some words. I'm not that easy. So notice how much I'm sexualizing the conversation off of everything, right? I promise not to penetrate you yet. Things like that, right? So the conversation is becoming about sex. And yes, she's saying like, you know, it's not going to happen and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is I've said it's not going to happen first. So it kind of took away her ammunition in that regard. And it's very, very clearly man to woman. She very clearly is liking me. And I continue to get to know her and qualify her throughout. You said business before, but that's extremely vague. What does that mean?
Well, my mom has a hair salon.
Okay.
I feel like the more up you get in New York, like the more
Right.
I didn't really want to go to college, but you know, like it's always
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Because like for like real business, if you're gonna be a business owner, you don't really have to go to college. That's my thing is I own a business as well. So I got a degree in engineering. My mom was super happy, but I've never used it. And I tell her if I ever use my degree, it means I failed at life. Right? Like if I ever have to use it, I failed.
I used to have
Well, a lot of people do. They go work for a company, but you want to do your own thing.
can't do it.
But I guess like it's
I used to live in Amherst. I used to go to like Amherst College.
It's alright. It proves to people that you're at least somewhat intelligent and that you can follow through. So there's that.
Like bars all around.
I like that you guys are both entrepreneurs though. I like that you guys are both entrepreneurs. I appreciate that. I can never follow orders. I can never live. I've never had a job where I had to listen to anybody. Never do it. That's what I say when I make eye contact with a cute girl. You have the most expressive face I've ever seen.
I have no poker face.
I know, I would own you at the poker table. So now we've kind of agreed that we like each other and now we're just getting to know each other. There's a bit less of like the banter, a little less of like the pushing away and teasing and that kind of stuff. It's a little more just get to know you. There's still gonna be a bit of teasing throughout though. I never completely drop it. But it's become more like, sort of like the conversation you'd have on a date. because we're sitting down now, so it is a little bit like kind of an instant date or we're just having a drink together, chilling out, that sort of a thing. So the vibe has fundamentally changed. It's a little bit less sexually charged, just a little bit less maybe even excited, but it's much more that we've agreed we like each other and we're together, which is a positive. I appreciate that you guys are entrepreneurs. I can't deal with people that have to follow other people's schedules and orders. Don't do it.
Like frog.
It's also good because if we all like became friends and shit, and I'm traveling, I want to like, hey, pick up, let's go. I'd be like, okay, I can do it. Don't have to be like, let me call into my boss. I do it. I get sick leave and like. But to work. That's I think you threw in there when it comes to work. But again, there'll be no tying down up or otherwise, and then, you know. So a couple of things here. First of all, you'll notice that you don't really see us on screen. That's because of a camera issue, which is the camera got zoomed in to the maximum, so it's very hard to tell what's going on. So just focus on the audio. So what's happening here, though, is we are actually seated with the girls. We're seated, the girls are seated. There's a little bit of space between us, so it's actually hard to get physical. And we're kind of like in a little bit of a circle, so the girls, they're not really looking at each other, but they kind of are looking at each other. So because of the logistics here, things are a bit stagnant, right? It's hard to escalate in front of the friends. It doesn't make a lot of sense to escalate in front of the friends, that sort of thing. Either now or later, we're going to find out, I don't know if we have at this point or not, that they basically they said they're like meeting some other people later or something like that. So all of that sort of lends me to think more of this as a get to know you and get a solid number kind of a situation rather than a pull type of a situation. And also it's a little hard to escalate. So what I'm going to do a lot is I'm going to continue to be intriguing, continue to be high value, continue to be the type of guy that there's a story in their head that I'm amazing and they'd like to meet me. And they'd like to, you know, hang out with me later, go on a date with me, that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to over-escalate. I'm not going to overplay my hand. If I see an opportunity, if things change, by all means, I'll play for the pull, I'll escalate. But if I don't really see a window, I'm not going to play in such a way that I'm kind of risking a lot of my social capital or in a way that I'm ever try hard. I have trust issues, so you can never tie me up, right? Never. Is that weird? Like, no, I've never ever... Have I ever? I don't think I've ever let a girl tie me up. I have massive trust issues. I'm like terrified that either there'd be some kind of secret vendetta or secret thing that she has against me, and she just like leave me tied up. Like, okay, well now that you're tied up, how about this thing? I'm like, oh god.
Like in Vegas, I mean, like in girls that like.
But you know what? I'm just leaving here for a week.
Like that big. I'm like, really?
I'm not that crazy.
Yeah. Anyone who says that in front of crazy in that context. The fact you said I'm not that crazy rather than just I'm not crazy, gives me concern. The two most crazy girls I ever dated, a direct quote, they're like, I'm crazy, but I'm not batshit. I'm like, yeah, you are. Yes, you are. Crazy, we'll just like no biographical details so you can't stalk me. It's fine. Alright, so besides being an ambitious businesswoman, it's gonna be a multi-billionaire one day in fashion, and like you'll be like Vera Wang, Donna Karen mixture, but like with a little more like color and spice, something like that. Aside from that, like what do you do for fun? Like to actually like have a life, or you work all the time? Okay, I didn't see that one coming. No, not at all. Well, you live in the city, first of all, so. Yeah, I'm a foodie, but I'm not an Indian. So I don't know how to cook. I can cook like toast and eggs, but I can go to restaurants and order really well. I'm a really good orderer.
We're like,
I travel too much. Like, most hotels don't have like kitchens and stuff. So.
parties or ass?
I mean, I enjoy a cup and everything, but you want to figure it out.
Are you an independent person? You don't take shit from anybody?
I also don't have to tell you you're free to be feisty, sarcastic, or free to raise your eyebrows every 2 seconds.
It's like this could not work out. I need to go back.
It's actually cool. We're with a bunch of friends as well, so I'm gonna have to like network back up with them.
Even if it's like that.
However,
Right. I need like ride or die.
perhaps we should go grab food and drink together. We can compare our food and this one.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah?
I'll see how What do you mean?
Sounds good. Fair enough. We almost had like this intimate connection. She forgot my name. She fucked it all up. It was gonna be like a match made in heaven, and she ruined it. I realized she doesn't really like me for me. She just thinks I'm cute and like well connected, and I feel so good. So here we're already working towards the close and that kind of stuff, but still notice how much of the interaction is actually pretty gamey, right? There's a lot more gamey stuff going on. There's some get to know you, but it's pretty gamey. And contrast that when we get to the next clip, when we actually get on the date, to how much more chill it is, how much the vibe is different, right? This is calibrating to the environment, calibrating to the situation for sure. So we're over at Deepening. So if you're ever out there, starting it up doing something, you're like, hey, I'm bored, it's late at night, I need someone to grab a cookie with, or like something. I am. There are cookie places in Deepening, yeah. There's also good food. You go to Copelia? Do you know Copelia? It's good. As far as 24-hour food goes, it's really good. It's right on my block. So. Late at night, need a snack. Yeah. It's like, Copelia is like Cuban food or what is it? Copelia, is it Cuban or what is it?
Yeah, it's like Cuban.
It's like Cuban.
Super good.
Really good.
It's the best. It's like the best restaurant in the city.
It's been a pleasure. Like I said, I'm out of town for the next
Tell
week.
me you're like...
But the following week, let's grab a bite or a drink or something. That's actually good. I usually start work about like 5 or 7 in the evening. So like 2 or 3, something like that's good for me. I usually wake up at like 2. So if I look like I just rolled out of bed, it means I probably did. Okay, so now I've closed for the phone number, and we're going to potentially make plans. This is a situation where I could have tried to stay longer. There were a lot of indicators. I mean, she'd moved around with me. She was grabbing a drink. She seemed very happy. She was qualifying herself to me. Those are all positives. Problem was twofold. Number one, I was on immersion. And during most of the set, there were immersion students around. And then, at a certain point, there weren't students around. So it was kind of hard to justify staying in the set unless it was going to be a quick pull. And it didn't appear that it was going to be that. It appeared it was going to be one of those ones where you hang out with the girl for the majority of the night, and then maybe she goes home, maybe she doesn't. Also, she had indicated they were meeting friends, and so because of that, I decided that number, given the circumstance, was the best way to go. So I took the number, made it as solid as I could by having some level of specificity of plans, by qualifying the girl, getting to know her, that kind of stuff. And then at that point, I just decided the best use of my time was to go enjoy the rest of the night. And as it turns out, I actually did end up taking home a Swedish girl with one of the students that night. So it wasn't an entirely bad decision in that regard. And then I ended up meeting up with this girl and actually having a date with a very, very good result as well. So turns out that in this case, it probably was the right decision. But arguably, you could have said that maybe I should have stayed and been more persistent.